That's it. You're live.
Oh,
I'm live too.
yeah, you're live.
You're
Yeah,
live.
don't put this on me, man.
You're live.
You're live.
You're live.
No, you're live.
No, you.
Are we gonna argue or not?
Yes. Let's argue.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. I'll be your host for this evening, and today we're gonna do a beautiful show brought to you by Joe. Currently, Joe is producing for us because Jesse's computer is not working. It broke. I think something in his physical system has died, and so his computer is broken.
Hurt Birkin.
And yeah, so thanks, Joe, for covering for that. We appreciate that.
I'm
We
glad to
appreciate
do
you.
it. It's kind of fun. I get
Yeah.
to be in charge of the on and off switch.
Ooh, push the off button.
No.
Show your power.
No. No.
Okay.
I learned from the great Jesse
Ooh,
to be very respectful of this power that you have with the on and off button.
that's good.
You
That's
don't just flippy dip it around.
Yeah, you don't flippy dip it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Also, we also have Princess with us, who is our lovely chat room hostess and topic keeper, if we may call her that, the topic keeper. I like
the
that.
Topic keeper.
Is that all right if we call you that? That sounds cool to me.
It's all
I
right.
like the topic keeper. It has a ring to it. It's kind of like the trapper keeper.
Kind of like, yeah, I was just gonna say it's kind of like the trapper keeper.
Yeah,
Remember
but
those?
it's the topic keeper.
But it's the topic keeper.
Yeah. So this is Don't Worry Wednesday, the show where we talk about whatever issues are on your mind, whatever conundrums or worries you're facing. And if you are going through something, or maybe you're just have a friend who's going through something, feel free to share. You can post it in the chat, or you can send us an email at dww@bss.studio, or you can send it on our forums. You can post it on as a topic at the BSS site, which is bss.studio. But yeah, we aren't professionals, just to let you know. We aren't professional psychologists, psychiatrists, or psychoanalysts, or anything along those lines.
I'm a professional on-off button switcher now.
Oh, do you get paid to do that?
No.
Oh, you're not a professional then?
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I think that's the qualifier.
It is.
be a
It
professional
actually is. You got to be paid for it.
Even if it's only like a cent.
Yeah. Ryan, can you pay me $1? Can you pay me $0.25?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
a professional on-off button switcher.
Okay. I'll pay you to be a professional. I'll pay you 1 cent. Ever.
Nice.
Not per hour, just ever. Yeah.
Ever. I would.
Yeah. So, hey, how's it going? Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
So yeah, we're basically here to be your friend, to add some knowledge into your life. Sometimes we go through things and we realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe someone else has been through this before. Maybe someone's been through something similar, and that's what we're here to talk about. A lot of times, we've been through a lot of stuff. So a lot of times we have certain kind of perspectives that you might not. Sometimes when you're going through something, it's hard to see the whole picture, or to have a view outside of yourself because you're all caught up in it. And sometimes just talking it out can really help you see that bigger picture and get your mind on right, or taking advice from somebody who's been there before can do a lot for us, or at least just kind of hearing their perspective on it can help ease our minds and work our way through it a lot more comfortably. And I think that's one of the biggest things that this show does, if anything, is it just encourages people to say, hey, you know what? You got an issue, and that's normal. Let's talk about it. Let's make it not such a big deal, so that you can kind of set your emotions at rest a little bit and move forward with a calm reaction that's empowered to do the right thing, or maybe get outside your comfort zone. Sometimes that's what we need to do, but basically just to encourage you. But anyways, if you have anything, please do share. That would be awesome. But yeah, so how you doing, Joe?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing tasty.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like Toasty.
Yeah, like toasty.
Almost.
If you are what you eat, then I'm doing tasty.
Ooh.
I think everyone's probably doing pretty tasty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty
perfectly
tasty.
delicious. Precisely.
I
Although I didn't eat ice cream.
Oh yeah, no. I ate some radishes. They were wonderful.
That's just like ice cream.
It is.
White,
crunchy,
crunchy,
spicy. Just like ice cream.
Just like ice cream.
Ice cream I eat is
maybe.
usually brown, not spicy, and cold.
Well, radishes can be brown.
They can. I wouldn't
radishes
recommend
can be
eating
smooth.
them. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd eat a brown radish.
Oh. Ain't nothing wrong with a brown radish. You know, most roots are brown, and a radish is just a root.
Yeah, but they're normally red and white.
Yeah, but they're brown at the bottom, or they're purple usually, actually.
Which is not brown. It's purple.
Yeah, but they become brown.
Yeah,
they don't sit out
over time. They do.
When they oxidize.
Were
Why are they lonely radishes? Oh my gosh, you're a way to pull one back from like 1940. Oh my gosh. Okay, it wasn't that long ago, but yeah.
Nice.
Nice. You just ate radishes, just straight radishes, or did you have it in a salad?
Oh, I had radishes in a mixed vegetable bowl. Okay. I'm on a pretty keto diet right now. So I had some chicken and some eggs, and I dumped a bunch of olive oil on that. It was really, really good. Salt and pepper. And then I had a salad with homemade salad dressing, the best kind. Seriously, homemade salad dressing is so much better than anything you can buy. Like when you
I agree.
Just
I agree.
Look
100%.
up some recipes, and man, they're awesome. And
I agree 100%.
And then I had a mixed vegetable bowl of carrots, celery, cauliflower, and radishes.
Nice.
And it was wonderful.
I'm probably gonna have a salad later myself. Salads are one of my favorite things to eat all time. I just like them. I have a recommendation for you. Check this out. I might have told you this before, but if you take your radishes and you slice them thinly, right? You can put them and you can bake them with pesto on top of them.
Ooh.
And then you put them on your salad, and they are amazing. They're so good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it takes a little bit more effort, but if you've got like a mini oven, it doesn't take that much more effort. You know, while you can actually just cut up your radishes like you're going to anyways, put some pesto on them, put them in there, and then you start working on your food.
Something?
Yeah, a little toaster oven. Yeah. And then you can start preparing your salad. By the time you're done making your salad, you just open that up, pull them off the rack, and put them on your salad, and they're so good. Because it doesn't take long to bake them in a little toaster oven.
Yeah. It's very healthy.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah. Pesto is all healthy ingredients. Like there's nothing weird in it. Like
there's no sugar in it, right?
Yeah, no, it's just basil, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, and a couple of other ingredients I can't remember. I bet you there's a lot of people who put sugar in theirs, but it doesn't need it.
Of course.
Pesto's great without it. But yeah, it is really good. Yeah, that I made that up like a year ago, and then I was like, whoa, I can't believe I made this up. It's so good. This is the best salad topping ever. But because I had radishes and I didn't know what to do with them. And pesto. And I was like, what if I put them together?
Hey, that's how things get made. Like, everything. It was an experiment at one point in time. I usually fail miserably in cooking experiments, generally.
I think that's the trick to being a good chef is failing a lot. Just like the trick to being anything that's creative is respecting and realizing you're going to fail most of the time to come up with something that is incredible. So you just try a bunch of different stuff until you go, oh, wow, these work really well together. Or, wow, that was a really interesting way to cook it, or whatever, you know.
I always had a goal. To get everything, all food groups in one bowl together, all mixed up in a bowl.
Okay.
And if I could take it and then bake it in an oven for, a while, and like bake it all together so it was really good, throw some cheese on top.
Yeah.
And that was always my goal. And I always would fail. And I'd have this big bowl of stuff that I had to like eat for a week
because okay, I see. Yeah.
I just like put a whole bunch of stuff in there and I'd be like, yeah, this would go good with this and this would go good with this and yeah, throw it all in there. I got some noodles and some whatever potatoes. And I don't know.
Yeah. Noodles and potatoes. They can go together. They usually don't.
Yep. And then I'm like, well, it's in the leftover box for a week. I got to eat it. Nobody else is going to eat it.
So. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yep. Yeah. I'm never afraid to make those type of things because I don't mind eating it, even if it's not the best thing, but yeah. It's noodles and sweet potatoes are nice together. Oh yeah, that would be good.
Kendra says I made interesting things at college. Some of it was applesauce muffins.
Ooh.
Barbecue lemon chicken with ranch. That's interesting.
Oh.
Barbecue lemon chicken with ranch.
Barbecue.
That's a lot of different sauces.
So, okay, are you making the barbecue from scratch? So are you using like basically the essentials, brown sugar and what tomato? Yeah, so tomato sauce. So it's vinegar.
Is barbecue sauce ketchup with brown sugar in it?
Essentially. And then you can add whatever spices you want. The basics of a barbecue sauce is brown sugar, vinegar, and I think tomato sauce. You could use mustard instead, though, and that's called barbecue mustard.
Interesting. And tartar sauce is like mayonnaise and relish, right?
Oh, you made your own barbecue from scratch and it was so bad. Oof. I'm sorry, Kendra.
Yeah. I have to disagree with Regal, though. I don't like sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
That's just personal preference. I know they're great. They're wonderful nutrients. In fact, a lot of the different exercise programs, when they talk about food, sweet potatoes are a really great source. If you're going to do any carbs at all, that's a really good one to do. So, yeah.
Oh, sweet potato fries. Yeah, I like me some sweet potato fries. Yeah. Nice. All right.
Man,
so
we're gonna have a food
how about
edition.
We get on the topics of today before we get
we're gonna have a whole
sidetracked
food
by
show.
food. Yeah. if we're, I mean, seriously, what's a show where we just talk about food but we don't actually make any food? That's a bad show. Hey guys, welcome to Talk About Food, where we don't make any food. We just talk about it to make us hungry.
Great.
Wow. See, Steven says,
Steven, I agree.
I'm hungry now.
Hungry too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Princess. Once again, if you're just joining us, if this is your first time, thank you for joining us. You're awesome. This is a show where we talk about whatever's on your mind, the issues, the worries. If you have anything or someone else who is going through something, feel free to post it in the chat for us or post it on our website or send us an email, bss.studio. dww@bss.studio. That's the email.
Yes. I was like,
yeah. BSS.studio is the
sounds right. It's almost there.
It's almost right, but what's missing? And I'm like, I forgot the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yep. So let's get this show started. I'm going to run through some list of names. If any of you are here and I call your name, let us know and we can do your topic. Because this is our current backlog. If we don't have anybody that's here with us in the backlog, we'll have to be taking live questions from you guys, or doing some old topics that are kind of just so old they're never going to show up again, but we might as well do them. So we've got Royal, Sevlev, SK, Jojo, Brayden, and Drachi. But yeah, if any of you guys are here, let us know.
Otherwise, we're just going to keep talking about food.
Yeah. I think we should probably...
That's not going to be
probably... we should probably cut
Drachi's
to...
here. Is Drachi here?
Is Drachi here? I didn't notice that.
Oh, Drachi is here. Hey, Saula.
Oh, they are here. Awesome.
But you have a new question.
I am here, but I have a new question. Do you want us to not do the old question, which was how to cope with loneliness? Drachi, I don't think anyone else is here.
You might be the only.
You're
the only person.
It's a new question. Do you want us to do
Oh,
your
you
old
have a question
as well?
from today. It's called "How to Cope with Loneliness," right? Oh, okay, gotcha. I am a new question. Like, okay, so what Drachi was saying is their topic is the newest one. Okay, so it's not. So if someone else was here, they should go first. But yeah,
Oh.
that's the okay. So it
Oh,
wasn't
okay, okay.
like there was a change in question. It was just
Okay.
gotcha. Perfect. Now
Yeah.
that we showed our brilliance.
Uh-huh. You're welcome.
Wow. Look at us go.
Wow.
We are zooming.
We are zooming. Oh,
Look at us
man.
go.
It's a race. It's a race.
It's a race. It's a race. I'm weaning.
I'm weaning.
There's probably all kinds of people like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. Oh man, what's his name?
I'm not watching this show anymore. I don't remember the actor's name. Mr. Bean is his main character that he is always.
Mr. Bean.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard Rowan Atkinson.
Wow.
I think.
Okay. So let's do this. This is from Drachi. It's titled "How to Cope with Loneliness." And Princess is going to read it for us. You can feel free to click on the link whenever that gets to you. I'll post it. Feel free to click on. Oh, Princess already did it, so I won't do it anymore. There's no sense in doing the same thing twice. It's ridiculous. Joe. What? Just kidding. You do it all the time. I'm just kidding though. No, if you want to lead along, you can click that link, and yeah, whenever you're ready.
How do you cope with loneliness? That's pretty much the question I have been thinking about for the last few weeks. With September, my new apprenticeship will start. Since I have moved away, I've always had to deal with the feeling of loneliness. But I knew that I had the time to drive home to my friends and family every now and then if I needed. But with the apprenticeship, I won't have this time anymore. Even though I'm an introvert and can't handle new contacts pretty well, I need to socialize a lot with people that are close to me, no matter if animal or person. Now I won't see them for long times, and virtual connections don't really help me. What can I do? From Drachi.
Thank you, Drachi. Yeah, great question. I'm excited to see what Joe has to say about this. You know, this is a topic that I actually was just basically talking to my mom with about just like literally 2 days ago, maybe. I think 2 days ago. But it's a great topic, and I think it's one that so many people can relate to. So many people experience loneliness, and you know, how to get around it, how to cope with it, how to manage it, where it comes from, and all of this kind of stuff. It's a really big topic, and it's a really useful topic for a lot of people. So I appreciate, Drachi, that you have the guts to share it with us, because I'm sure that this will help more than just you. This is a topic that's very, 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 I don't know, common in human nature. You know, very dear to almost all of our hearts. We've all had to deal with something along these lines at some point in time or another, for the most part. So without any further ado, Drachi, I love you. You're amazing. I'm going to give it over to Joe and see what he's got to say for this topic.
Yes. Wow. Well, thanks again for the topic. This is an interesting one. From my perspective, I am kind of a person who likes to be alone a lot of the time. There are times when I miss people and I miss being around people, and I like, having that contact with people, especially like my kids, for instance. If I have to spend like a long time away from my kids, I miss them. I want to be with them. It's weird. Like, and as a parent, you smell your child, and it's it brings feelings. It's the weirdest thing. But at any rate, like, I understand not being able to make new friends and having a hard time with that, because that was something that I dealt with a lot. Like the only time I would ever make friends with people is if I was stuck in a situation with them, right? So I was in a class with them, or I was in a workplace with them, or something like that. And they came and talked to me first, right? I was never the person to, take the first leap. I was never the person to, reach out and try to get to know somebody. I was always the person that was there and waited for somebody to come and talk to me or get to know me. And so in an apprenticeship, now I don't know what your apprenticeship is in, but I assume if it's any type of apprenticeship like I've had, you're going to be working with another person, at least one other person, maybe more. The apprenticeships I've always had, I had like a teacher, like a trainer person. And then I was also in a group of other people that were doing that same profession. And like the manager of the department or the boss of the department was like the guy teaching me and training me. It happened when I was learning to do band instrument repair. I learned how to repair trumpets, trombones, flutes, clarinets, all the different band instruments, right? And that was my biggest apprenticeship that I ever did. And I happened to be in a shop with a bunch of really, really skilled technicians, and it was super duper cool. And I got to be friends with all of them at work, but I didn't really do much outside of work with them. Like I was there in the apprenticeship program and we were working together, but then outside of that, I pretty much kept to myself until one of them would invite me to do something. Like one of the other repair technicians actually just badgered me and hounded me for months until I joined his clarinet choir. And I'm a percussionist, right? He's like, we need a percussionist. Like, come be our percussionist. I'm like, really? Like, it's a clarinet choir. You need a percussionist? Yes, we need a percussionist. Like, no, I got all kinds of stuff going on. And so he kept bothering me. He kept, like, this is great and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? It turned out, finally, I did it. Finally, I was just like, fine. Okay, let me take a look at some of the sheets, that some of the stuff we're going to be playing. And so I looked at some of my parts. I'm like, this could be interesting. All right, fine. So I did it. And I was so glad that I did it. Because not only did I get a deeper connection with that guy, that repair tech, he's an awesome guy, but I also got to be good friends with the director. I got to be good friends with some of the other clarinet players, one who was another technician in the shop, an incredible clarinet player. I mean, I didn't think you could do that much with the clarinet, but you can. Like, it's a very versatile instrument. It's cool. And there's lots of different ranges of them. You've got your regular, your alto, and your bass, and your baritone, and all the different ones, right? So anyway, but basically, as I put myself into that situation of the apprenticeship, I just allowed myself to connect with other people. I didn't try to push. I didn't try to be social. I just allowed other people to be social with me. Drachi says, I can relate to that. On Friday, we have a workplace party that we apprentices got invited to, and even accepting the invitation was really hard for me. To be honest, I would have denied if my mom didn't force me to accept the invitation. I understand.
That's so relatable.
Yep, absolutely, because it's a weird experience. But here's the thing: when it's a workplace get together like that, at least you're not there with a bunch of people you've never met before, right? At least there's somebody there you can probably at the very least, kind of go off to the side and have a conversation about work, and at least it won't be super boring. But, so you'll have a bunch of people that you'll have that connection with. And it's amazing. I have relied on social butterflies my whole life, I think, in order to have friends, because I've relied on them coming to me. Now, the weirdest thing, I started reading some books. I started reading books like How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, How to Win Friends and Influence People. These books are classics. They're old. They're written back in the mid to early 1900s, right? And they spell out how to deal with people, which really, dealing with people is your main science in life. Because no matter what you decide to do, you're going to be dealing with other people. In your apprenticeship right now, you're dealing with other people. Whatever your apprenticeship, whatever you're learning in your apprenticeship, whenever you finish that and move on to your profession in that area, you're going to be dealing with other people. And so some of these things are good to know, because then you can take these skills and you can learn them. It's interesting. When I first met Ryan's brother, Kyle, I met Kyle before I met Ryan. And I'll never forget my first conversation I had with Kyle, because he also is an introvert. And I'm an introvert. And at that point, I'm trying to learn how to be an extrovert, right? And so I'm trying to do all these things. And I'm learning these questions. I'm like, okay, so just go ask people questions about themselves was one of the principles, right? So just start asking people about themselves, right?
Oh, no.
And so I do this. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get to know this guy. He's standing there. He looks like a nice guy, you know? So I go over and I start talking. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Good. So I'm Joe. Hi. What's your name? Kyle. Oh, really? So do you go to school here? What do you do? What do you do? He's like, I go to school. Oh, no kidding. Where do you go to school? Tech. It was Michigan Tech, right? But everything was a one-word answer. What are you majoring in? Math.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Yeah, like why would you want to major in math? I don't know. It's good. Like, so, but anyway, I was trying so hard, and he's an introvert too, right? So he wasn't really wanting to engage necessarily, but at the same time, now we're very, very good friends, and we'll talk for forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was just the beginning of a friendship that's lasted now for, oh my gosh, 15 years almost, probably.
Yeah,
we've known each other.
Something like that.
I mean, and we've planned stuff. We've done projects together. It's amazing, right? So, but that's the thing that you have to understand. Here's the bottom line of all of this that I've talked about. Everyone that you know, you met at some point, right? You talked about, even though I'm an introvert, I can't handle new contacts pretty well. I need to socialize a lot with people that are close to me, whether they're animal or person. And so here's the thing to understand. The people that you're close to, that you need to socialize with, there was a time when you did not know them. And then a time when you did, right? So the question to ask yourself is, okay, how did that take place? How did I get to know these people? Did they come up and talk to me? Did they come and befriend me? That was how I got most of my friends, because I was unwilling to go talk to anybody, right? So then you can start to learn this stuff about yourself. And then if that's the case, where the friends that you do have are people that came up to you and talked to you, all you need to do is stuff like this workplace party, where you go put yourself in a situation where you're available to talk to. And you know what you're going to find? There are wonderful people out there that you have not met before that would love to be your friend. That I would encourage you to think along the lines of, I have not met the best friends I have in my life yet. Because maybe you haven't. I have some great friends, and I didn't meet some of them until my mid-20s. Some of my best friends I didn't meet until I was almost 30. And I'm still meeting new people and getting to be friends with them. So, that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, if you're allowed to have an animal wherever you're living, then that might be an answer as well. I know for a lot of people that fills a gap, especially in this world of social distancing that we live in right now. Animals, pets, they kind of fill a void in our hearts. That that social interaction, especially when we can't be around other people. And especially if the digital communication doesn't work all that well for you, then that might be the way to go, at least for now, while we're in this socially distanced world. But anyway, that's about what I have right now. Oh, Drachi says, sadly, I'm not allowed to have an animal here. Neither do I have the money to care for one. Yes, they can be expensive for sure. But that was plan A. So then what I would do is start with just going to that workplace party. You never know. You might meet some people with some common interests. Who knows where it goes? And you don't have to try and make it go anywhere. You just kind of allow it to develop. You allow a friendship to grow how it will. And it's a great way to go. So, but I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and see what he has to say. So, Ryan?
Yeah, no, that was great, Joe. Honestly, I think that's some good advice. Sometimes you just need to start with what's available. If an opportunity arises, then it's a sign you should take it. If you're feeling like you're missing some human interaction, I'm glad that your mom kind of pressured you a little bit to get you to go, because you might find something there that is useful, and even if you don't make any friends there, you can always take something out of an experience, but don't go with that expectation. But yeah, I just hope I don't start shaking again when people speak to me. Yeah, I was gonna say this. You said I'm more the person to go, oh, someone talks to me. What do I say? Did I say the right thing? Does he think I'm awkward? Oh no, the conversation stopped. How can I get out of here? I get it, right? That's how it was for a large part of my life, a large portion of my life. That's kind of just how it was, right? There are two types of loneliness. I'm going to kind of segue that into this topic, and you'll understand why in a second. There's multiple types of loneliness, I'll say. There's the sense of loneliness that is the desire to love, but you don't have someone to love upon. That desire to be a gift and express yourself in a loving manner, but there's no one there. There's another form of loneliness that is a natural human desire to interact with people of your same species. We are that type of animal, and it's very natural, and it's a good thing. And then there's another type of loneliness that is these are all desires, but this one especially is a desire to be accepted and appreciated, right? That's why some people say, I'm talking to people all the time, and I still feel alone. I'm with someone 24/7, and I am so lonely, right? It's not because they're missing interaction. It's because they are missing they are looking for someone to love them. They were looking for someone to fulfill them and to appreciate them. And that's one thing that's a trap, because humans can't do that for each other. We weren't made to do that, right? We aren't responsible to do that for each other. So that makes it really hard. If you're with people but you still feel alone, then that's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's not that I need people around me, it's that I need to change the way I think about myself, right? Because to desire other people's validation is to give them to desire other people's validation is forcing upon other people the responsibility for your health and wellness. That's the best way I can say that. If you understand what I mean, you can understand how that's not a good thing to do. To desire other people's appreciation, to desire other people's love, is impressing upon them the role that they have to fulfill. They have to make you happy. And that's not fair. That's not fair to them. And that's not something that can create or generate a good relationship with somebody. And so I think it's important to, if you are in a position where you're worried about what other people are thinking, you need to figure out how to stop doing that, right? In that moment, whenever you're like, what does this person think of me? What is it? Am I making a good conversation? Am I making a good conversation is important, because that's caring about the other person and trying to interact right. But if it's along the lines of, what do they think of me? Then you're giving them too much power, and you're saying, hey, my happiness is now in your hands, even though I just met you. And they don't even know that that's what you did. So they're not thinking about, how do I make this person feel like I appreciate them and I accept them and that everything they're saying is perfect and how they should be. They can never do that. Why? Because we humans can never know what's inside of another person's head, what's inside of another person's heart. We can gauge, and we can gauge pretty accurately. But there are times, like, I remember I was in high school. I thought everybody hated me. Like, legitimately, I just thought no one liked me. I was like, yeah, I don't have very many friends. Nobody likes me at school. And found out later, like, that was a lie I made up. It wasn't that people didn't like me. It was just that people people didn't care. No one hated me. They were just like, yeah, we'll make jokes about you every once in a while, but we don't hate you, or, I don't even know you. Like, we never even talked. Why do you think I hate you? Right? But I did that. I impressed that upon other people all the time. So, when it comes to loneliness, there are a lot of good reasons to be lonely. And what I mean is, loneliness can get you motivated to do something, right? It can get you motivated to be a part of someone else's life, right? And that's something that we're supposed to do. And that's something that's very good and healthy. So if you're feeling lonely, that's okay. It's a form of motivation. It's a negative form. It feels bad, right? But it's a form of motivation to be around people and to impress upon their lives the gifts that you have and the beautiful nature that you are. Drachi, you're an awesome person. You're so uplifting all the time. Every time I see you, every time, you're always uplifting. Even when things are going well for you, you got a headache or whatever, doesn't matter. You're always uplifting and you're always kind and gentle. And I think that that's super awesome, right? So your loneliness can be a desire. This desire can be something to fuel you to interact with other people and to do great things. But don't let loneliness be something that makes you feel like you're not at home, that you're out of place, that you're the awkward one out, that that people think less of you, or anything like that. Because for sure, no one has the right to think that. And if they did, it would just be wrong. You need to, I know it's hard, and it can only come through action, but try to train your mind to realize you don't have to worry about what other people think of you when you're having a conversation with them. Because that's not important, right? The most impressive thing to other people is not when you impress them. The most impressive thing to other people is when they are impressing you. If I do a magic trick, right, and people go, wow, that's so cool, I'm like, that's awesome. I feel excited, right? If I do a magic trick and someone goes, oh, that was pretty bad, let me show you something better, right? They're trying to impress me.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to show me they're better than me. That doesn't make me feel good, right? That doesn't make anyone feel good. That doesn't make them a better person. It doesn't make sense to do it. Because if I'm trying to be, if their intention is to make a relationship with me, right, then the most impressive thing is to love on another person, to allow them to shine, to, you know, and we've talked about this many times, and I will say this quote again. The most important thing when dealing with people is not what you look like to them. It's what they look like to themselves when you're around them, right? How they look to themselves, how they feel when they're around you is the most important thing. If you make someone feel like $1,000,000 when you're around them, they're going to want to be around you more because they're going to want to continue feeling like $1,000,000. You think of the best friends in your life, right? The people that you're closest to, your mom, your girlfriend, whatever, right? You think about the people that make you feel the best. Those are the people you like being around. That is 100% true. And so if you're meeting new people, Drachi, the main thing you have to do is not worry about what they think of you. The main thing you have to do is worry about what they think of themselves. Because if someone thinks good of themselves when they're around another person, they will want to come back to that person time and time again. And it's not out of manipulation that I'm saying this. It's not to manipulate anybody. It's to improve their lives, right? The best friends in life are the people that help us become the best version of ourselves, the best teachers, the best parents, right? That they make us the best versions of ourselves. And so when we point out the good in another person, they want to strive for that good even more. So really, when we're around another person, all we have to do is try to make and help them be the best version of themselves. Not through lecture and scolding them and be like, no, you need to do this the right way. You need to do that the right way. No, by encouraging them and by going through an adventure with them, sharing your struggles and sharing that opportunity to overcome that with them. All of those things build relationships that last, right? That are important to us. And so it's a struggle. And I remember doing this for many years, being in this position where I was always worried about what other people think of me. And the way out of that was to interact with people, force myself to interact with people, and make it a point to make them happy, to make them think they're awesome. That's the only thing. Interact with people and make sure they understand that they're awesome. You want to know why that's so effective? Because at some point or another, we have to realize we are human just like them. If we can find so much awesome in another person and bring it out and make them feel good, we start to recognize that, hey, I've got all those qualities in me too. And you can't lie to yourself about that. And then you realize it doesn't matter what other people think of me. I am what I am. I don't need other people to affirm me anymore. I don't care what other people think of me because I know that I'm good. And it doesn't matter if I've got flaws because we're all on a journey. We're all going somewhere. We're all trying to improve. I'm under the impression that if I meet anybody, I can become a friend with them, right? I can get on someone's good side. People have their immediate preconceived notions about me. They're like, oh, here's a guy with long hair, right? You know, give me 2 minutes or less to talk to them and they'll be like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Hey, come meet my new friend.
It's true.
And it's not because I am an amazing person.
It is.
It's because they're an amazing person and because I'm confident that I have no reason to be disliked, I guess. I'm confident in myself, I guess. And the only way I can become confident in myself is by doing that over and over and over, by having the courage to interact with people in real life and stuff like that. And it's not in any way meant to gloat. My point is that I was, for a very long period of time, in this position where you might be right now, where you're scared to interact with people because there's so much that can go wrong. And I want to encourage you because I don't have that problem anymore so much. Maybe once in a great while, and then I just like cut it out at the root as soon as I see it. And I'm like, yeah, no, no. No, we're not gonna act like that, right? But my point is, you are fully capable of 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 conquering this sort of thing that binds you down, because it sucks. I know it sucks, and it's hard to get out there and be the person that starts up a conversation and stuff like that. But that's what you got to do, because that helps you out of it. But anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say. I am going to reiterate kind of like what I started with, and that is, do not one thing that's really important is, if you look at somebody and you're giving them power over your happiness, right? That's wrong, because you're giving them that responsibility over you, and that's not fair to them, and it's not fair to you either. You don't deserve that, and neither do they. So at all costs, avoid giving other people the right to decide what you think of yourself, unless it's healthy. There are people who will go out of their way to make sure you know that you are good, right? That's healthy, and you can accept that. But there's a pitfall in that, and that is, if you get excited when people say good things about you, you'll get even more so depressed when people say bad things about you. So you can't give that responsibility to other people. You can't allow other people to decide for you. You have to maintain who you are and your image of yourself in your head, regardless of what other people think. And that's hard. But the best way to do that is to pursue virtue. If you pursue virtue, as Joe has said so many times before, you'll be proud of yourself, right? If you just do the right things, you'll be proud of yourself. If you try to become the better person in different things, one baby step at a time, you'll be proud of your own accomplishment, and then you'll associate yourself with being proud and being good, and then your image of you will be healthy. You know, and then other people's words won't affect you so much, right? I know that was a lot to take in, but I hope I addressed kind of like one of the core issues that can be commonly associated with loneliness. Again, I said there's many reasons, and maybe I went too far and I talked about this one thing too much, and that's not something you're really dealing with, and I apologize if that's the case. But I say this because that was the road. That was what I had to encounter. That's what I had to deal with in my life. And so, just in case that you're dealing with the same thing, I felt it was safe to say it. So yeah, and to help other people as well. So yeah, I'm going to move it back on to Joe, because I'm sure he's got a lot more more important things to say.
I don't know about that. I think what you said was super important. And Drachi says, I mean, I have an image about myself in my head, and it rarely changes because of others. Others just help me not to think about it. So I'm guessing that means that the image you have in your head might be a little bit of a broken one or a bruised one or something like that. I know that's definitely been the case for me a lot. And for most of my life, I had a very, very poor self-image. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case with you or not, but I guess I'm jumping to that conclusion based on your choice of words in the chat here. But Ryan was right on. If to kind of help that area, because if that's at the root of the whole thing, which it probably is, like as my self-image improved, my ability to deal with others improves as well.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true for me as well.
Yeah,
100%.
So Drachi says, my image is mostly generated of my mistakes in the past that I still working to try to conclude. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I just I think I've said it on this show before. I have my children trained. I have 2 boys. They know when I say, hey, what's your dad good at? They answer, messing it up. And that's absolutely true. I am great at making mistakes. And I embrace that part of me. You know, I've made some mistakes that hurt people in the past. And I feel bad about that. I can't go back and change it. I mean, I can try and make reparations, but the most important reparation I need to make is in myself, where I say, okay, what I did there was wrong. I can't change it. All I can do is feel sorry that I did it and then resolve to not do it again. I may not have contact with that person ever anymore, but I can resolve to not make that same mistake. And even if I do make the same mistake again, at least it's not like I did it on purpose usually, right? Like it's a mistake. But at any rate, we're all going to make mistakes. You're going to continue making mistakes, and that's okay. That's how you learn. That's how any of us learn. So here are a few things. Like, I love what Ryan was getting at, but pursuing virtue is that thing that's going to improve your self-image, like Ryan was talking about, right? So the virtues, you can look up the 7 cardinal virtues. You can look up Ben Franklin's virtues, any of those virtues, and you just pick one and you work on it. And I would encourage you to pick the one that's easiest for you. Because as you improve in one area of your life, you will automatically improve in other areas of your life. And a rising tide lifts all ships, they say. And it's the same with virtues. If you improve in one virtue, all of them improve as a result. But all you need to do is focus on the one that's easiest to get a little bit better in. And then all of them will start to get better. And then your self-image will start to improve. It'll be awesome. But here's some specific things when you're meeting people, when you're talking to people, as you're dealing with other people out there that you don't know, because you want to get to be their friends, right? I mean, everybody that was close to you is a friend. And I noticed up in the chat earlier, you said something about how you've got friends that are close to you, but it took years to get to that point, right? And you said it took years to get to that point, and you had somebody at home that you were close to, so you always had somebody that you were close to, right? But it doesn't have to take years. It can be pretty quick, in fact. And here's how to do that. Here's how to make friends quickly. Okay? There are 3 things. Well, there are 3 things. One of the things is actually 3 things, but there's 3 total things. This is going to be confusing. I'm sorry. First thing to do is the 3A principle. And it's accept, approve, and appreciate. This is key to dealing with other people. When you're in a conversation with someone and they're talking to you, introverts make the best friends because we allow people to talk and we listen. Which is the other thing I was going to say, which was another thing I was going to say to do, is listen to people. When they're talking, really listen. Like, make eye contact. Listen to what they say. Take some signposts from what they're saying, and then you can ask a question about something they were just talking about, and then you can guide the conversation. And you hardly have to come up with anything brilliant to say. You don't have to say anything, except for really, wow, how'd you get there, or what happened then, or blah, blah, something like that. And you can just get them talking because they want to talk about themselves. And then once you're listening and getting them to talk, accept them for who they are, because they're a person and we all should be accepted. Approve of them. Now, everybody has behaviors that we don't approve of, but that doesn't mean we can't approve of them as a person, right? We can always approve of somebody's existence, whether they're behaving badly or not. Right? And then find things to appreciate. That's the next thing, like what Ryan was talking about when he says, when people think, like if he did a magic trick and people were like amazed by that, it would make him feel good. That's that appreciation step. They appreciate the fact that he did something, and they were, like they accepted it, they approved it, they appreciated it by being amazed by it, right? So he threw a fourth A in there, amazement.
Amazed. There you go. That's a good one.
So anyway, but those are two things. Those are two things you can do around people. The third thing is something you do by yourself. And I cannot tell you how much this little thing changed so much of my life. And that is, I practiced smiling in the mirror. And I know you're probably thinking, that's lame. It might be, but it was so helpful. And it's not just a smile where you turn the corners of your mouth up. Is that a smile, like a real smile? No. That's just me. Right? What you do to practice smiling in the mirror, you feel the smile in your belly. You feel this energy start to, churn up a little bit inside, deep down inside. And then you just kind of allow the smile to come out, and it lights up your face. It's amazing, but that's the smile from deep down within. It's like a full body smile, right? Practice doing that in the mirror. Like if you practice, okay, I'm going to feel it deep down and I'm going to really focus. Okay. And then you just allow that smile to just creep up and light up your face. When you have that, first of all, you have a lot more confidence, even if it's just temporary. Like in that moment, you'll have a lot more confidence. And if
you're a lot more approachable too.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the other thing. You are approachable. Like people will want to be around you. And so like you turn that on, and it doesn't matter if you've got crooked teeth. It doesn't matter if you're missing teeth. None of that matters. Like a genuine smile is beautiful anyway, regardless, because it's more than just the mouth.
It's an outward sign of joy. People are attracted to joy. Mm-hmm. They want that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how pretty it is.
Exactly. And so they will come around you. And then once you're there, see, now you can practice these other things like listening, accepting, approving, appreciating, all this stuff, right? But it really is an internal battle, like Ryan was getting at. First of all, remembering that it's not other people's job to make you happy. It's not other people's job to fulfill you. I don't know if you're religious or not, but I personally believe that fulfillment only comes from the source. And that's our Creator. True fulfillment comes from fulfillment itself, which is the creator of fulfillment. And so that's another place to look too. But with that, I think that's about all I had to say. So Ryan, what else you got?
Nothing. I think that was great. I think that covered the topic pretty well. And I mean, we went a little bit longer than normal, but we have a couple of different topics to talk about throughout because we got to keep the conversation going with Drachi, which was really cool. Which is also one of the nice things about having it, live, is that we can keep a conversation going. This show is pretty interesting, pretty amazing in that I don't think very many people ever have felt offended, even though we're talking, right? We're trying to give advice, right? But we're not being very criticizing, right? It's very just like, hey, this happened in my life. This is what I did, sort of stuff. This is what worked for me. We all have something to give here. And what's cool is that we're all in the chat, and people can add in their own advice. I really liked what Hero said. He said, Hero said, "Don't let your mind fool you. We're a lot more than the mistakes we make. If anything, I say what defines you is what you decide to do after you make them." And I don't know if that's entirely what defines us, but it is something that is defining of us. And I think that is super important. Sometimes when you do bad things, even if they're on purpose, if you look at it and you feel genuinely sorrow, if you feel a genuine sense of sorrow, right? That shows you who you are, right? I mean, think about that. If you do bad stuff and you go, yeah, that was good. Like a lot of people got hurt and that was like, nice. Right? You know what kind of person that is. If you do something and it's like, oh man, some people got hurt by that. I wish that didn't happen. Man, I hate myself for doing that. You should be proud of yourself for having that thought, for having that reaction. Yes. Because it shows you're a human being that cares, that has empathy for other people. You're a human being that desires love for other people, right? So, Drachi, if you look back at yourself and you let those things define you, I would recommend let that sorrow you feel right now define you, because that's who you actually are. That's who you are now in this moment. The person who wishes those things didn't happen, wishes you didn't make those mistakes or do those things, right? That's who you are. You're not the person doing those mistakes, right? You're not those person doing those things that you regret. There's no such thing as a life without regret, unless you like literally didn't have a life because you died immediately after birth. All right, but whatever.
Everyone experiences regret, yes.
Yeah. And the point of life is not to live without regret. I don't like when people say, no regrets, or, the point of life is to live without regrets. That is absolutely not true. The point of, you try not to make mistakes. You try to do things you won't regret, but you're always going to have regrets. Why? Because you desire the best. And that's okay. So if you are sad about those things, that's who you are. You're the person that is a good person, that wishes those bad things didn't happen. And so you should just forgive yourself, because you're not that person anymore. You know better now. Or, hey, maybe it was something you did just like 4 minutes ago, right? The point is, as time proceeds, you have to forgive yourself and you have to let go of that sort of thing. And don't let those things define you. Because if you define yourself by your mistakes, try doing that to somebody else. See how far that friendship goes. Like if you're just holding a grudge against other people because they did this, they did that, and you mark it all down and you're like, yeah, I'll always remember they did that and that's who they are. They are a blah, 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 right? You don't do that to anybody else. Why? Because you're a genuinely sweet, kind-hearted, forgiving, loving person, Dachi. Don't do it to yourself. As if there's anyone you could do it to, don't do it to yourself, because that's the person you're with 24/7. And as an important relationship to keep it, healthy, because that's how you're going to feel and that's how you're going to act and all that kind of stuff. Changes how you interact with other people, changes how you interact with yourself, changes how, everything. So make sure that you understand, you're awesome. Don't worry about, past issues that you had or issues that you're dealing with now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because your heart is obviously pointed towards what is good. If you're upset about these mistakes, right? If you don't like them, that means you have a good heart. You have good intentions, and intentions are the most important thing. So anyways, I said I was going to be done, but I dragged it out a little bit more because I thought that was important to say.
It was. If it hadn't have been, you wouldn't have said it.
Oh.
and that's the truth.
Peanuts.
Peanut allergy.
Oh, if I hadn't said that, it wouldn't have been important.
Whoa.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's what I got. Thank you so much, Strachey, for the topic. It was really great to talk about it, and I hope that we did it justice. I hope that it made sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, let us know what you think about all that, and I hope that your coming experience with your coworkers is going to be a lot of fun for you, and that you get to intermingle and find some people to enjoy your time with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Drachy said thank you.
Okay, cool.
A little bit. Yeah. So it was necessary to apologize for your beard.
Yeah, I apologized for my beard earlier. Starry Night or Starry Night, I don't know how they want to pronounce that. Okay. Said, "Whoa, you have a beard," and I said, "Yes, I'm sorry." And they said, "Did you just apologize for your beard? Is that your fault that you have a beard? Looks great on you." It is my fault because I haven't shaved it.
Okay. Yeah, Drachy says I got a lot of thoughts out of that. I still have to battle with myself though. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yep. That'll be an ongoing, constant thing. I battle myself all the time. I battle things that I know are wrong for me. I battle things that I know are right for me that I don't want to do. And it's, it's amazing. But thank you for the question. And yeah, hopefully it was helpful.
Yeah. We do have another question now from Princess, which is funnily enough about regrets. So that'll be interesting, as she wrote. I am going to go through the list of names just in case. Is Royal, Sevlev, SK, Jojo, Brayden, or I guess anybody else here? Is Princess here? I know Princess is here. Yeah. I wish I had facial hair to be sorry about. That's a great statement.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. It's a lot better when you don't have to shave it.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's annoying.
It is. And you cut yourself occasionally, bleeders and stuff, and and you gotta that's an expense you'll have your whole life is razors.
Mm-hmm.
So then you try and find some kind of mail program, where they're like, okay, I'm gonna send you a bunch of razors, and you're gonna subscribe to razors.
Subscribe to razors.
Yep.
Or you get a torch and you try that method.
Or you could wax.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't ever use a torch.
Yeah, don't do that.
That was not a real thing.
It hurts and it stinks.
Yeah, it would actually stink. Literally would stink. Hair does not smell good when it burns.
No.
Yeah. Razer, yes, the gaming mouse. That's what we're talking about, Tara. Yeah. Razer, the gaming mouse for your face. For your facial hair.
It's not working, but it's making my arrow go.
So it is working.
It's not shaving my face. Oh, actually, it's silky smooth.
Oh, wow.
That's just because I shaved like an hour before the show.
Oh, well, there you go.
All right. So I think it's Princess.
All right. Variant here is yucky. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Okay, so let's do this topic from Princess. I think it is on the same note as what kind of we ended with the last topic, which is great.
Hyrule says a good segue. Is Hyrule a different name on here?
Oh, is Hyrule? We got Sevlev, Royal, SK, Jojo, Brayden. I know they're not Brayden. I know they're not Royal Saigo. I know they're not Sevlev. I don't know about SK or Jojo. I don't think Hyrule just goes by Hyrule on the site.
Okay.
Hyrule, did you have a topic for us?
Well, by the way, I'm just seeing interesting emojis and stuff.
Yeah, with a flag.
I was like, well, anytime I see the dab, I'm always like, that's somebody.
You're like, it's a topic. Right? Because we did say, if you got a topic, leave a dab.
Put a dab on, yeah.
Yeah.
See ya, Tara.
See you, man.
All right.
Regal. Cool. Hey, Regal, welcome.
Let's do princesses.
Yeah, let's do princesses. So Princess will probably post the link for it. So if you want to, if you'd like to read it,
I'm gonna do it.
Feel free to.
Watch.
So Princess was first, then CDVNL, and then me. Sal, where's your link?
He's on Ace.
Is that Ace? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it used to be What's Up With Your Mom and Dad, and then we did all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah,
some shenanigans.
What's Up With Your Mom and Dad.
Yep, we did them all.
Yep. Actually, Princess, could you leave us a Yo, What's Up With Your Mom and Dad in the chat? That'd be really nice. That way we know for sure that you're here, so that we can do your topic.
Actually, you could just say it into the mic.
Yeah. So better. This one's from Princess, called Self Grudge, and then in after a semicolon. No, just a colon. Sorry. Self grudge colon regret. Feel free to. Yes, there it is. Yo, what's up with your mom and dad in the chat?
Mom and dad in the chat. Wow, even put it in the chat.
In the chat, yeah. Can you say it for us? Yo, what's up with your mom and dad in the chat? Wow, I can't even say it now.
What's up with your mom and dad in the chat?
What's up with your mom and dad in the chat? What's up with your mom and dad in the chat?
Yes, we win.
Your mom and dad in the chat.
We all win.
Which this will be very interesting based on what you had just previously said.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Hello. I know so many people have talked about regretting things in the past till this very day. As for me, I have come across many regrets, but I always work to resolve those in my head because I don't think that it's worth living the life to live with lingering regret. It's better to accept something that's happened and when I can, make the best of what had happened and use it as a learning experience and not to be forever stuck wishing to change the past. To me, it's similar to holding a grudge against yourself, of which I want to repent and forgive. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on regrets? And for those who are suffering from regrets, do you have any advice for them? Thanks. Much love, Princess.
Yeah, thank you, Princess.
Yes.
And I think that you have a good point, right? When you are regretting something, you can linger over it and it does you no good except for make you feel bad. Mm-hmm. And you can do that to yourself for years if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. Or you have the alternative where you stop feeling bad because you realize what's done is done and life is meant to move forward. And I think then you actually, and if you can look back at your past and make something good out of it, I think that's incredibly crucial to our own experiences and our growth and how we feel about ourselves. I think that there are many times where I weigh the odds of something, just like I have an emotion and I'm like, okay, would I rather feel this emotion or another emotion? Well, I'll pick whatever one's better, right? Or, hey, I have these two options for food. Which one do I want? Or I have these two options for, I don't know what I want. Well, which one's healthier? I'll weigh the odds, right? And when it comes to regret, it's the same thing. When I do something I don't like, I can look at it and go, okay, do I want to sit here and feel like crap all the time? Or do I want to move on with my life? What do I actually want? A lot of times it's like, yeah, I don't want to feel like crap. I want to move on with my life. Okay, cool. If that's what I want to feel like, if that's what I want to do, then let's do that. Let's move forward. So I think that this lingering regret is a big deal for a lot of people. And it was even for me for a long time. And I think that hopefully we'll have some tips and tricks to getting over that process, starting to move from that feeling of depression or that regret or that self-hatred and all that kind of stuff. Moving on from there, because no one wants to be in that state. Whenever we're like that, our greatest desire is like, man, I wish that didn't happen because I wish I didn't feel like this right now. And as we just spoke, that feeling is good because it tells you who you are and who you want to be. It doesn't line up with that. It means that you want to be something better, right? Mm-hmm. So how do we get moving on that road? I think that's a good question we can maybe talk about throughout this. But thank you for this question, Princess. Hopefully I bought well enough time for Joe. He's going to have some great things to say. So he's definitely been down the road of forgiveness. And I think that he's got a lot to add to this topic. which is really healthy and really helpful. So
Well,
go for it, Joe.
Hopefully it will be good. I personally, I am very familiar with this topic. I have lots of regrets, lots and lots and lots of them. And it sounds to me, Princess, like you've got a lot of the answers in your question. You say, for me, I come across regrets many times, but I always work to resolve those because I don't think it's worth it in this life to live with lingering regret. And you're absolutely right. That's one answer. It's not worth it to just dwell on it, right? Because you just hold yourself back. Yes, it happened. Yeah, like one of the first things to do is just be like, okay, it happened. I did it. I messed up. I made the wrong choice. It was my fault.
As charged.
Yes, that one. I did it. But so yes, you accept that something happened, and when I can, I make the best of what happened and use it as a learning experience, not forever to be stuck wishing to change the past, because you can't change the past, right? You never can. You can't go back. Like, there are so many times when I've said something, just like I open my mouth and, words come out, and then I'm like, oh no, can I please just bring those back, and not have those be out into the world anymore? Like, so many times. Still, like, I'm pretty careful with my words a lot of times. But you guys hear me on this show, and you hear me on Double Cup of Joe show, tripping all over my tongue, like saying something stupid or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, well, that was dumb. Or I'll quote something, or I'll make some kind of statement, and then Jeff will show up in the chat with the correction, which happens all the time. Or Princess too. She'll like, hey, I don't know. Princess says, I tripped over all the words of my own topic. Kind of, a little bit, but that's okay. You can't, and the point is, you can't change it, right? You can't go back. You can't change it. You can't go back and undo it. You can make reparations, maybe. But the most important thing is in that last sentence of your first paragraph there, which I want to repent and forgive. Because this is something that you've done. When we have regrets, like you said, you're holding a grudge against yourself when you linger on those regrets. But when you have a regret, it's a sign that you have injured yourself in some way.
Mm-hmm.
You've hurt yourself. Usually we relegate that to other people. We allow them to hurt us, and then, we have to forgive them, right? In those cases, there's nothing for us to repent of. They are the one. It's their job to repent, our job to forgive, right? And if you guys haven't heard me go through this before, I'll go through it again because it's super duper important. But forgiveness is for the person who was offended. Like, if someone hurts me, my job is to forgive them. That's what brings healing to me. I heal through forgiveness when somebody hurts me. If I do something to hurt another person, I heal through repentance. A lot of times we kind of get things switched around, like where it's like, okay, I'm only going to forgive this person if they repent. And that might be the case for someone who holds on to their own regrets. They might be waiting for themselves to repent. Or themselves. I don't know the proper English. Waiting for themselves to repent. Okay, so if I wait for myself to repent before I forgive myself, I'm just going to be in this perpetual agony of regret. Or I can just do both. Like, that's the thing. If I injured myself, I am both sides of the equation. And so both things are my job. I can look at that thing I did. I can be sorry for it. I can resolve not to do it again. That's what repentance is. It's the feeling of sorrow for something that you did and the resolve to amend your life, to not do that thing again. Like you're like, you recognize it was wrong. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's what repentance is. And so when you do that, you heal as the offender. Now, you might not heal the relationship necessarily, but if it's between you and yourself, like you're probably going to come pretty close to healing that relationship with yourself. So you repent and you say, that was wrong. That was really wrong. Like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to try my hardest to not going to do that again. Right. So then you forgive yourself. And forgiveness is not just being like, oh, no big deal. Oh, it's nothing. No, that's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is recognizing the wrong. And yes, that was wrong. And I forgive you. And I no longer hold it against you. Like, because really, unforgiveness is just you holding on to wrong. When you forgive, you let it go. And you're free. So when I have regrets, and I have stuff that continually plagues my mind and keeps driving me down into a pit, and I've dealt with this a lot, I've learned, and this is stuff that I've learned just in the last couple of years. Like, this isn't stuff that I've known for a long time. I had to go through this whole program from the John Paul II Institute of Healing,
You had to become Catholic.
That's one thing too. Yep. You're right.
Sorry.
I did. Because I would never have gotten the program if I hadn't, actually talked to that Catholic priest.
I was just kidding.
So I'm just handing it off to you guys. You don't have to be Catholic to do this. This is where I found it. You can do this without becoming Catholic. However, I would recommend it. But
good plug.
But anyway, neither here nor there. This is a universal human thing, repentance and forgiveness. Right? But it's a beautiful thing when you can admit a wrong and recognize a wrong and be like, okay. And then the offender, in this case yourself, says, yes, that was wrong, and I resolve to not do it again. And the offendee, the victim, also yourself in this situation, can say, yes, that was wrong, and I don't hold it against you. I let go of it. And that is a beautiful moment of healing. And in those moments, there's a peace that comes over you. And you realize that all the things that we regret, those are just mistakes that make our lives richer. Those are situations that might have steered us in a certain direction. And our lives are a compilation of all that. And our lives are beautiful. Regardless of the pain, regardless of the struggle. I mean, all those things feed in and create something that means something. Like, your life is so meaningful. And the things that we do that are wrong, even though we regret them, they're beautiful moments of healing that are greater good than the good that existed before. And now we're getting into the theology of evil, and so I won't go any further. But I did want to mention that stuff because regret is dealing with you injuring yourself. And so, yes, you answered it perfectly in that last bit of that paragraph where you said, I want to repent and forgive. You need to do both. And then you can heal from it. And then you can recognize it. It no longer becomes a regret because it's like, okay, I've released myself from it. I've resolved not to do it again, and I've released myself. So now it's no longer a regret. It's a learning experience. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, that's really.
I know that was a little bit. Drastic, but hey.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like what you're saying, and I can just kind of go off of it. It's interesting when you look at like, I think so many times it's important to take yourself seriously, right? But to look at who you are, look at yourself from outside of yourself to identify you, and look at the bigger picture. Where are you trying to go? So in life, what's more important, to be evil or to be holy, right? And I only say evil and holy, yes, obviously those are religious terms, but they're natural terms in reality as well. When we see something bad happen, right, we call it evil. And a lot of society will say it's good versus evil, and we leave the holy kind of idea out. We just say it's good and evil. We don't say holy and evil. Good and evil aren't opposites, though. The truth is, good and evil aren't opposites. Good and bad are opposites, right? They're distinguished from what is holy and evil. Something can be good for me, but it's not quite holy, right? Holiness is another step above. It requires sacrifice. It makes good out of something, right? But holiness is always good, but good isn't always holy. So regardless, in life, you always want something. The point of living is not to become more and more and more evil. The point of living is not to become more and more bad. The point of living is not to accrue more and more and more self-hate, self-loathing, and self-regret, and all this kind of stuff, right? It's the opposite, right? In life, we want to get better. In life, we want to be more and more good. We want to give more and more good to others around us, and we want to create and expound more holiness and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's given, right? I'm just saying that because everyone knows that, right? The reason I'm saying that, though, is this: regrets are when you are focusing on the bad that you've done, right? The problem is what you focus on in life is what you will find yourself doing and finding opportunities to do more. When you are constantly focusing on how we can't trust anybody in the world, people who think they can't trust other people tend to be the person who is not trustworthy. They're the kind of person that's going to steal. Why? It goes both ways. The more you steal, the more you're worried about other people stealing from you. The more you're worried about other people stealing from you, the more you're thinking about stealing. And because it's on your mind more, your brain gives you the opportunity to do it more. You know, I'm always worried, like, oh man, I can't trust them. They might steal from me. I don't know who they are. They might steal from me. I'm going to keep my distance from everybody because anybody can steal from me. Now that's always going on in my mind. Stealing. That's a nice microwave oven. Stealing. That's a nice refrigerator. Stealing. Oh, what if I stole the... No. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of person. Stealing. Okay, it's just like a dollar bill. They left it on the counter. They're not even gonna remember that they left it there. They're already gone. I'll just take it. You know, stealing. You know, you see what I'm saying? The more you think about a particular sin, the more you're likely to partake in it, because your brain is giving you that opportunity to do so. It's kind of also similar to the different conundrums of today. You have like suicide, right? Suicide wasn't a big deal in the past. There's a lot of reasons for that. But people didn't commit suicide as much. People talk about suicide a lot more now. So it becomes more of an option because it's running through people's brains. It's like, man, my life stinks. What am I going to do about it? Oh, I heard about this thing called suicide, you know, and a lot of people talked about it. So now I'm starting to get those thoughts in my head, right? It's hard. So my point is, if you want to live a life where you're happy, it doesn't pay off to sit and dwell and hate yourself on the things that didn't pay off, the things that were just, you know, sad, made other people sad, that were, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's important to look at those if your intention is to improve upon them, right? It's important to look at those if your intention is to resolve that, to I guess come to forgive yourself, right? But if you're looking at it and you can't forgive yourself, right? Then what you're doing is you're programming yourself to be more inclined to do it again. You're programming yourself to be more inclined to just think about that about other people and so on. So it's important in life, if you want to be happy, if you want to be a person that exudes goodness and people think, oh, wow, that person was a really good person. That person was a holy person, right? You want to be that kind of person? Then you actually have to live that kind of life. And you have to think about those things. You have to actually think about those things a lot. Because the more you think about it, the more your brain will notice opportunities that are presenting themselves for you to do good things, right? So that's, I mean, a lot of that we already know, right? But sometimes it has to be said, right? We have to talk about these things. Otherwise, we won't actively go, okay, yeah, I really should not be focusing on my errors. I should be focusing on what I'm going to do from here. What am I going to grow to become? How am I going to be an awesome person? So when it comes to regrets, I say all of that to premise this statement, okay? When it comes to our regrets, if we look at them and don't think of how do we turn this into a positive, then what you're doing is pointless. It is in vain. If you look at your regret, it's entirely in vain unless you have the intention of resolving it, of making something good come out of the bad, right? Does that make sense? If you're looking at your regret and you're not intentionally making something good come out of it, then you're wasting your time. You're doing it for nothing. You're doing it just so you could feel bad. That doesn't justify anything. I think a lot of times the reason we dwell on our regrets is because we want to justify the wrong that we did. And we feel like, well, if I feel sorrowful enough, if I feel bad enough for what I did, that will pay for it. The truth is, it doesn't. You can't justify it. No amount of pain that you experience gets to justify or gets to make it okay what you used to do or what you had done before, right? I really hope that makes sense, because that is I think something we've all experienced, right? That's actually what the song "When the Darkness Comes" is about, you know, because so often when we get this, when the darkness comes, don't betray yourself for it, because the darkness isn't out to do you well. We get stuck in the darkness. Mm-hmm. We always betray ourselves. When we do something bad, we have this guilt and we sit in it and we sulk in it. You want to know why we do that? It's eluded me for a really long time. I've always wondered, why when we feel bad, do we want to sometimes we just want to soak it in. We're just like, man, I feel terrible right now for what I did. I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to feel bad. And I'm not going to I have some thoughts like, oh, I should fix this instead of I should get out of this state. No. I'm gonna feel bad. I should get up and I should get on my bed and I should no, shut up. It's my time to feel bad. I gotta sit here and just soak all this garbage in and feel terrible. Why do we do that? Why do we betray ourselves for it? Right? Here's why. I think this is why. It's because we want to justify what we did. We think that if we feel bad enough, it will make up for the bad that we did. You know, we put that sacrifice and pain hoping that it will make what happened in the past better. But it doesn't. We hope that maybe I'll become a better person if I just feel bad enough. It doesn't. Because that's not how your brain works. Your brain doesn't make you better because you feel worse. Your brain is better when you feel better, right? When you're sick, like when you're physically sick, your body doesn't work that well. When your brain is sick, your brain doesn't work that well. You need to, now, obviously, the bad that you did is important to think about, and it's important to feel bad for. We just talked about this last topic. If you do something bad, that action is not what defines you. A lot of times it's how you feel after you did it that defines you. If you go, wow, I can't believe I just did that. That was so bad. I like literally hate that I just did that. That was so bad. I feel terrible. I hurt that person, or I hurt myself, or whatever, right? That's who you are. You're experiencing your real self. You're experiencing the fact that you don't like bad things like that, right? That's who you are. So if you associate yourself with, oh, I did this bad thing, so therefore that's who I am, that's incorrect, right? Because that's not who you are. That's who you were at that moment. But now that you feel bad about it, you have the chance to be someone different, someone new, someone revised, someone heightened, someone purified, someone much better, right? Because now that you've had that experience of sorrow, which is a good experience. Sorrow is a good thing. It's a good thing that it exists in the world, but we can't use it to pay for the wrongs that we did, because it doesn't do anything except for ruin our lives. Because then all we think about is bad stuff, and then all we can focus on is bad stuff, and then our brain only finds the opportunities to do bad stuff. So we have to, when we experience that sorrow, we have to understand what it is. It's not a justification of what we experienced. It's not to make something else okay. It's the result of our heart in conflict with who we just were, right? My heart will become in conflict of, like, if I do something bad, my heart will be like, why did you do that? You betrayed me. You betrayed this other person. You betrayed God, right? My heart hates it, right? That's what that sorrow is. That sorrow is meant to make you change, not to pay for your wrongs. So I think that's hopefully helpful if you ever get stuck in the position where you just kind of like, you feel that darkness and you start to soak it in, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I have all these regrets in my life that I focus on. You feel that sorrow. That sorrow is there to let you know that you're a better person than that. And that they're not, again, I think it's really important to say that pain that you feel is not paying for anything. That pain that you feel is the result of that conflict between who you want to be and the sacrifice it might take to get there. Sometimes you just have to feel that so that you know, okay, I will endure this and I'm going to keep on moving forward because I can become stronger. I can become better, and I won't ever do this to someone again, or I'll try not to do this to myself again, or whatever. So, yeah, that was quite a bit. I hope that made sense. Let me know in the chat if any of that related with any of you guys. But
related with me.
I'm gonna give it back over to Joe.
I can say that for sure. It related with me. That was something I needed to hear right about now. It's weird, you go through different times in your life, and there are certain times when you get hit with a whole bunch of challenges all at once, and so it's really tempting to go down that path of darkness. It's really, it's almost automatic. Like, you just kind of find yourself there. And so then when you're there, it's like, okay, well, how do I get myself out of here? And to be reminded of the stuff that you were just talking about, Ryan, was so helpful. Because yeah, like there are those times when you get stuck. And it's like, I need to get out of here. And to be reminded that, oh yeah, this dark feeling, it's not doing any good. It's not helping the situation. It's not making it any better. And even though I might think it's justifying, it's not doing that, because the situation is still what it is. Right? So I don't know. It gets amazing. But eventually, when you have these regrets, one of the things that I've learned over the time of dealing with different things is that, you know, one of my main jobs is to be responsible for myself. One of my biggest regrets is how long I blamed others for things that were going on in my life. Now, legitimately, people did things to me that were hurtful. I'm sure that's happened to every single one of us, right? But that's not the point. That's going to happen. The point is, what do I do with my life? Whether that happened or not. It doesn't matter that somebody did a certain thing. It doesn't matter that, you know, I had a relational conflict over here and it threw me off balance for a while. Me being thrown off balance was me choosing to respond inappropriately to that situation, right? That didn't have to happen. But in a way, I guess for me to learn the lesson, I guess it did have to happen because I had to learn the lesson in order to get out, and I had to go through that in order to learn the lesson. So I guess in a way, that track was necessary in order to learn what I needed to learn. But at the same time, one of the things that has struck me recently is that I'm responsible. I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for my actions. And because of that, I'm responsible for my habits. And in being responsible for my habits, I'm also responsible for my results. Because that's kind of the way things go. You have a thought, and from that thought, it gives birth to an action. And like Ryan was talking about, like the more you think about things like stealing, you know, or the more you think about things that are evil, the more you think about things like beating up another person or whatever it is, the more you think about things that are wrong, and the more focused you are there, the more likely you are to take action in that area. And when you take action in that area, you are always taking steps toward habit. Did you know that? Everything we do, or even everything we think, is a step toward a habit. And so it's really good to examine your thoughts and examine your actions, because it's like, okay, I am creating habits because that's what we do. We're human beings. You know, eventually anything that we do consistently becomes a habit and we don't think about it anymore. We just do it. We just think that's normal. And then you end up like, if it's the case of stealing, you end up with a kleptomaniac, right? Somebody who just steals, and that's what they do. You know, and they don't feel right if they're not stealing. And then they think, well, this is just the way the world is. The world is full of thieves and I'm one of them, you know, whatever. And so then it just kind of becomes that way. But you can also take right actions and create good habits, right? You can create good thought habits as well. And so a thought reaps a habit or an action. An action reaps a habit, and a habit reaps a result. So like, because then as you're consistently doing things, then you start to see concrete results in your life from those habits, right? And once you're there, then it's like, oh my gosh, now I have something that I really need to fix or repent of or turn around the other way, right? But you can pluck it out of the ground at the thought level before it becomes a thought habit. And then before it becomes an action habit. All of those things, right? So, this is where repentance comes in again. And to really examine yourself and to examine your conscience. And it also helps to have a well-formed conscience. And that's where pursuit of virtue comes in. We just can't get away from this tonight. But the pursuit of virtue is going to help you form your conscience. You know, the virtues of love, the virtues of charity, right? The virtues of kindness, being faithful, to being loyal, you know, all these things, these are virtues, you know. And, you know, we gave the list, the cardinal virtues, the Ben Franklin's virtues. There's lots of different virtues out there. But that's going to help you form your conscience. So then you will start to recognize your thoughts when they're wrong or right. And deep down, our conscience can tell us, you know, it'll be like, okay, you know, that's not a right thought. I probably shouldn't be thinking that thought. And from there, you can start to make those changes. But at the thought level, that's when they're the easiest to pluck out. Because then after you think about it enough and create the habit of thought, now you're starting to tend toward the action. And then the action gets a little bit harder. Because now it's actually manifesting itself out into the world. It's not just in your head. It's like out. It's like in the world, in real life now. Okay. And then once you're doing it on a regular basis and become consistent, then it becomes harder to turn around. So I'd encourage you, take regular time to examine your thoughts. That's why I find it so helpful to keep a journal. I journal every morning. For the longest time, I couldn't say that, but now that I've done it for more than 30 days, I can say it. Nice. I journal every morning. I missed one day, though, so maybe I can't say it.
You journal so more practically, you journal every 29 days.
Every
out
almost,
of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, you journal every day but one day a month.
Right. But that's been a great way for me to get my thoughts down so then I can really examine, okay, this is what my thought process is. This is what's going through my head. All right, is this something that's going to help me or not? You know, and I can kind of start to make some judgment calls, but then I have a record of it. But anyway, I don't really have much more on this. But great topic, Princess. Oh my gosh. And
yeah, thanks,
it's
Princess.
Something that I've struggled with a lot. So hopefully you guys were okay with me you know, just rambling on about my own problems.
Hey, that's what this show's for, right? It's for them to sit here and listen to us and our problems. No, I do have one last thing to say about this topic is that guilt, right? That's really ultimately what we're dealing with when you have regrets is guilt, right? Guilt is a two-sided coin. It's if for a lack of better words, it's God's it's God's schoolyard and the devil's playground. But you have to identify which side of the coin you're on. Because when you experience guilt, it can be for good or it can be for bad. A lot of times if it lingers, that's an easy indication of now I'm just holding on to something that's causing more pain than necessary. And it's actually making me dislike myself more. And therefore, it's like Satan is in me, if you will. Right? Alternatively, right? You feel bad of guilt. It's to let you know, hey, you're better than this. You're better than this. Don't do this again. This feels terrible, right? So let's move on. Let's turn the page on this one, right? That's good, healthy guilt, right? It's recognizing that you are better than it. That's not what you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel the guilt. Because if you were if you really think about this, if you were what you feel guilty of, you would not feel guilt because that's simply what you'd be, right? If you go, I mean, Joe gave an example, like a kleptomaniac, right? If you are someone who thieves from people and you don't feel guilt, what you are is a thief, period. if you steal from people, right, and you feel guilt, that means there's a conflict in your heart that says, that's not who I want to be, right? And so you might have been a thief during that moment. Your guilt is telling you, hey, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. I don't want to be that. Mm-hmm. That's not who we are. And so now you have the full right and option and ability to say, okay, I'm not doing that again. I am not a thief. I tried that once. I tried that 17 times. Done now. Right? Sometimes that's how it goes. Tried that 764 times. That's not who I am. I'm better now, right? That's because we humans, we're always changing. Mm-hmm. But you get to pick what way you change with every step that you make. And so it's important to feel that guilt to help guide you, right? But let it guide you, not distract you. Let it guide you, not hold you back. And that's guilt. That's the two-sided coin of guilt. So, yeah, the moral compass, exactly. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, yeah, thank you so much, Princess, for this topic. Thank you guys, all of you, for your lovely comments. I was able to read them all. You guys have really great things to say, and I appreciate all of it. And I hope other people got the chance to read it as well. But yeah, thanks for the great show, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I don't think that we'll be doing any streams on Saturday or Sunday. Do you have a double cup of Joe on Thursday?
We do not. We are moving it to Monday. So
you moved to Monday.
Yes. So it's Joe is actually leaving town. Joe okay. B, other Joe. Yeah. He's leaving town tomorrow, and he won't be back till the weekend. So we decided we'd just push it to Monday. So we will be doing live stream Double Cup of Joe on Monday, and it looks like Monday is going to be the day for Double Cup of Joe live stream, 8:00. And yeah, I'm not sure what the topic is. We haven't gotten that far yet, but we're going to get there, and it's going to be great. So,
yeah. Are you guys doing a new format?
Yeah, we're just doing one show a week.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
so
you guys won't be changing clothes and all that?
No. We weren't doing that anyway.
Yeah, I know you guys aren't doing that anyways.
We did that again. We did that way before, like when we were doing that. But yeah, I think we're gonna move it to just doing live streams, and we're just because it works way better just hanging out with you guys. So Monday evenings at 8, Joe and I will be on, and we'd love to hang out with you. We've got topics.
8 a.m. or 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, 8 p.m. That's Eastern.
Yep.
It's currently 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you can do the calculation on your time, then you know how to get to 8 was when we started this show.
Yes.
No, 9. Sorry. Yeah, 9 was when we started this show. So it's an hour earlier than what we usually start this show.
Right. And yeah, but the best thing you can do is just subscribe to the channel and click the notification thing, so then you'll get notified when we go live, and
then you'll click that bell. Click that bell on.
Yeah.
Just
smash the bell.
Smash the bell. Take the bell and do a suplex on it.
Yep.
Skate all over that bell.
And leave a subscribe.
Throw some popcorn at that bell. And leave a subscribe. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
I love it. Don't guys.
Yeah, right now.
Leave a subscribe.
Leave a subscribe. So what was that? They always say, smash the subscribe button, right?
Yeah. So I want you to
leave a like, smash the subscribe. So smash the like and leave a subscribe.
Or no, I better. Leave a subscribe, smash the comment section, and push the like. Decimate that notification bell. Demolish the like button.
Yep.
Destroy the comment section all over it. My Anyways,
Yes.
thank you all for being here. We appreciate you.
Saula, yes, Double Cup of Joe will no longer be a morning show, at least for now. It could change. Joe's schedule is changing quickly. Like he's only got like 5 days of his job left, and then he's off to a new adventure. So we're gonna see what happens in life for that. But for now, we're gonna do Monday evenings at 8, and that's when we're gonna show up and hang out with you guys, and we'll see where it goes from there. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and we will be here next Wednesday, but it's just Saturday and Sunday are likely canceled because Jesse's computer is currently down and out. Yes. So
he may need a new one.
We won't be. Yeah, we might need one. One last thing before we go, Hemlock Hero. There's this thing I used to say. All death metal words start with the letter D, like destroy, demolish, destruction, devastate, delouse. You know, delouse being my favorite death metal word. It's a good one.
That's mine too now.
Yeah, so there you go. But thank you guys for the beautiful and wonderful time we got to expend with you guys. It was great, and we hope to see you guys next Wednesday or even on Monday if you want to show up for that. But until next time or even after, have an amazing life.
Ryan might be there. I'll definitely be there. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see who's there.
All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye. Peace.